Hi everyone, today I would like to share my backyard design with you guys. I have a standard backyard with width of 12.5 meter and height of 5.5 meters. So it's pretty much standard backyard you can see in Melbourne or in Australia. So usually people have a very straight backyard by putting turf on it or grass on it. But I actually find that the backyard is a little bit boring for me. So I designed the backyard, which you can already see in the beginning of the video. So I will share the details how I design this and how I execute that. So as you can see the photo, this is a very hectic job. Actually, the problem was my backyard or my land size or my land orientation was little bit higher on the back and lower on the front, and it is not only from back to front, it's also left to right. So left corner was a little bit higher and the right corner was a little bit lower. So then I have to remove the soil, which is kind of again I find it expensive at that time. So then I decided, okay, let's just keep the soil in the same place, and I just create a raised patio, design the raised patio as you can see on the photos. So the patios actually have three steps in it, one, two, and three. So that was the gradual orientation. That was the orientation of the land. So I just keep that orientation as it is. So it turns out quite attractive when I finished that project. So this is my idea how I can convert my boring backyard to kind of interesting layout. So I will, in this video, I will actually like to share the raised patio, which actually I built it using the Versawall logs, Adbry Masonry blocks, and you can see in the videos. I will not share all the details because I was the only person who was shooting the video. So I just like to highlight the important stuff and the challenge and the lesson learned during this video. So this is, as you can see, I create a retaining wall, which is not necessary if you actually install the blocks wall on top of it. But originally I don't have any plan for the block, so I just built the retaining wall with the wood slipper, and then I installed the block wall. So this is how I designed the first step, and then this is the second one, and that's the third one. And you can see that gray block is there for a sample. So the first step is to build the foundation for those blocks. For the foundation blocks, ideally they recommend you can put you can dig a trench and then put concrete in it. But I didn't do that. I just put crushed rocks and then put some soil on it and compact it. So this is the blocks which I used. Color is oatmeal. You can find it from your local vendor. So here, this is how I place those blocks, and as you can see, these blocks are actually, you don't need any cement. It go like a Lego block. It works like a Lego blocks. Connect one with each other, and from left to right and top to bottom. So it is very easy. The only challenge, the first and most important thing is you have to have a perfect foundation in a perfect level. So I lay down all these blocks. So there are three stages for this project. First stage is you need to put the blocks and may build the wall, and the second stage is you need to do the cutting of the block for the edges, and the third stage is to put the caps on. So always start from the corner, like this corner, because you will start from the corner and you go to the edges, and then from the edges you will actually cut the blocks wherever it is necessary. So this is how it started, and I did this project alone. So it was like I was doing in different shifts, like working 1 2 hour and then have a break and the next day. So this is uh, so I have started this project finally. This is how I laid on the first line of bricks. So the first line of brick is very important and very tiring job if you're doing it for the first time, because you have to maintain the level and you have to make sure that everything is perfect, because if this line doesn't set correctly, you won't able to build the second line easily. So the first line is almost taking 90% of the time and the second line is just 10% of it. So you might need not you must need some tools, which is the right angle to actually check the angle of the corners, and level bar and a compactor, along with a mallet hammer. So this is how I completed the first line, and as you can see, the second line is also almost done. Second line is nothing, just you just put block one top of another, and here how I'm doing the corner. The corner block are special blocks. You can actually check if your corner is going to the right or the left. So they are different two type of blocks, right corner and left corner. So you can order based on your orientation. So I was checking the level because it should be in perfect level. So one more thing, you might not need to create a wooden retaining wall. You can just do this block wall, but make sure that you are behind this wall. You just put the drainage or the eggy pipe, which I already did behind the wooden wall. Otherwise, your wall will collapse because of the water or moisture. So this is the first phase is completed, in which I laid down the wall. Now I started the cutting, and for the cutting you need an angle grinder with the diamond blade, which is special for the cutting. You don't want to use this one, otherwise it will break. So diamond blade you want to use the pencil to line, and especially most important thing was the glasses, because your eyes should be protected while cutting the blocks. So it was not difficult if you have experience, but still I would recommend be careful. So this is the second phase, in which I will cut the blocks and I will put the blocks on the edges where the wall is finished. So now I need to measure this. This is the gaps. I need 1.5 block in this area, and then 2 half blocks for the lower step, one for the lower step and second for the second step. So I'm measuring the blocks. Blocks is almost, I think, 400 in length. So here you need to measure it and you need to cut it in a way so you are not wasting your block. So here I was cutting the block, as you can see, wearing the glasses. So it's very important to have the angle grinder, because otherwise you will not get the perfection. So here, as you can see, there was a little gap, so I used the wooden chips to block that, and then later I will put the colored silicone in it so it won't be visible. And this is also done. And the last brick, as you can see, it's not even complete brick, it's just a part of brick. And here how you have to cut the individual wall like this one, and put it and insert it accordingly. So the angle grinder is important. So the second phase is completed now. I have put all those, my walls are completed from end to end, and these are the tiles which I want to install on top of it. I was just checking at that time how it looks like. So that surface should also be in perfect level. So what I did for that surface, I just put the crushed rocks on it, compact it, and then I put the stone dust as a final layer and make it compact again. So this is I didn't use the compactor for that because the compactor was too big for that job, so I just used the hand compactor tool. I did install this slipper to divide the area because on the gray side I will install the artificial turf. On this side I will build the deck in the future. So I just want to create a division, and this is the third and final stage for the Adbry Masonry blocks wall. Is the capping. So for the capping you need to cut the edges on top of each block, because as I mentioned earlier, the blocks connect with each other from left to right and from top to bottom. So top edges need to be cut, so the top surface of the block should be smooth. So I cut those with the angle grinder, and then I put cap on it and make sure the cap should not be dancing on it, like it should be perfectly level, as you can see like this. So once you cut and you put all those caps without a glue on the blocks and make sure that everything looks good, then you start putting glue. So here I'm cutting this, cutting the edges which I mentioned. If you don't have the angle grinder here, you might risk to break the block because they are very fragile when especially hitting on top side. So I was using this, and now I make sure that the surface of the blocks are perfectly level, and I'm putting the glue, and then it's not glue, sorry, it's an actually liquid nail. You can find it from your local vendor, and then you can put cap on it. So that is the final step for the wall. And for the patio, I will then install those tiles. So my takeaway is it's a little bit patience. This job requires a little bit patience, and it is also a little bit heavy. I mean, you have to pick up the block. So if you have some back problem or other issues, I will not recommend. Maybe you can have help of your friend or someone. So or at least you need to be very careful dealing with these. But the good thing is you don't require any cement work, which is quite messy. I'm very bad on it. So I like the output, what it turns out once I finish it. So here the progress so far. As you can see, the second step, I will build this area. I will build 2 garden beds from left and right. So this is I will show the final photos of this area. It's still not completed yet, but I will still like to show how it turns out. And this area, now I'm going to work on the final stage in which I will going to install the tiles. So as I mentioned that I already leveled the surface, and you can see the compactor, hand compactor. So I compact it, and that you just need to put the tiles on top of it, and the tiles on top of the surface. I'm not using anything, any glue, or it's just like the tiles itself, laying the tiles. And once the tiles are laid down, I need to put the sand. There's a special sand, paver sand. You need to put that paver sand on those tiles, so it will fill the gaps if there is any gap left between the tiles, and your tiles will be locks. So I'm using the word tile. I'm not sure we call it tile, but I think here they call it pavers. So these are the paver stones. So this is how it turns out now so far. So it was quite challenging, but if you are consistent, if you have your plan ready, if you have your design ready, and you do your calculation. So I did order the bricks, I did order the pavers after the calculation, so it was very easy for me. So I don't need to think when I was working. I was keep following the plan. So here, this is the hard work done, and because it was summertime, so I usually working in the evening time because it's much easier to work on evening. So here, this is the complete project, and I'll share the photos also. Here, I also put the silicone on the edges. Till now, the garden bed is also built and constructed, and you can see a separate video for that. And this is the final look with everything is completed on this section. So it's obviously quite late photos. These photos are taken after almost 6 months of this project. So it's as you can see already. So this is how it turns out. Thank you guys, and feel free to ask any question or comment